Right, my trips was going down. Fucking, I'm having a quiet one tonight. My wee boy's away with his grandpa. And I've got class tomorrow, so just been chilling. Watching the telly today. I was got to go to my class today, but I waited in because I forgot I had a joiner coming to fix a lock. So that was that. But I back tomorrow. At least it gives my body a wee bit of rest as well. But all good. That was a good wee video with Kev Neary the other day. He's actually, as I explained, and he explained himself in the video, he was an ex-offender, had addiction issues, all that kind of shit, running about like a bandit, know what I mean, and then turned his whole life around. Now he's working, well, he's co-founded a ex-offender charity that helps guys coming out of jail that started volunteering for just after New Year. I'd actually got in touch with him last year. It was just round about before Christmas, but I didn't start until like maybe 3rd of January or something, so it's all good. Hopefully got to be doing a lot more kind of, getting a lot more involved, do you know what I mean, because we're all kind of spread out all the gaff and need to be picking up the pace a bit. But there was a lot of kind of uh, stuff that Kev covered that I want to kind of delve a bit deeper into. Now, when we talk about rehabilitation, right, I think maybe everybody's got a different image in their head. And as I've said before, I don't like the word because it implies you were returned to the state you were in before you were hitting the prison. And nae cunt that does big time is return to the state that they were in before they started doing prison time. I think the ones that stay out just learn to manage themselves. But what's starting to become clear to me is there's politics behind all this, right? And I think Kev had explained in the video how, like, the reason that people or politicians or the government is reticent to fund organisations like Aid and Abet is because they're all ex-offenders. Now think about that for a minute. They're, we're talking about helping people turn their lives around. Like, it's not like Aid and Abet just runs about fucking taking on others. Like, you need to request this help. Like, we don't just fucking show up at the jail like fucking like touting for business like a fucking like the lawyers you used to see in the boat my Glasgow Sheriff Court. Used to see fucking these mad duty lawyers getting up and down the corridor like they were touting for fucking business, you know what I mean? Like fucking you have to be referred. So you have to be at least on the surface willing to take help. Excuse me. And engage with it. And I find it quite mad that when I've expressed hundreds of times about the Scottish Prison Service brings out their corporate plan, they call it, right? Which is this document with all these big graphs and flow charts, pie charts, statistics. We've met our targets this quarter. See all that pish like they're a business. And they're always going on about things like rehabilitation, this and that, but what the fuck is going on? Because if it's being left to people to fix themselves, rehabilitate themselves, reform themselves, or it's been left onto people like Aid and Abet or whatever other kind of ex-offender agencies are out there, what the fuck they need for all these behavioural courses? You need to do the violence prevention programme, you need to do the stop programme, you need to do this fucking programme, you need to do that programme. Like, what's the need for all these courses then? Because I'm sure Canada was the ones who brought these courses out, and they don't even use them anymore. So why are they still being used in Scotland? But that's another story, innit? I'm just trying to get at the kind of fucking the politics behind, like, no even want to fund. If Edna better, right, Big Kev got invited, he's met like justice ministers, the first minister, this one, that one, right? Surely if they didn't value the kind of work he was doing, he wouldn't be getting these kind of invites and getting invited to speak here and speak there. Like, he's been on fucking all these channels, and I think he was on Newsnight, BBC, all these panels, like, talking about how the first couple of days you go out of jail are crucial, right? We all fucking know that. And when I say that, I'm also talking about, like, your guys that are in and out, as opposed to cunts that are fucking just constantly in for years. And then getting out, see the first couple of days you're out, unless you've got a family, like your mum, your dad, your wife, whatever, are there waiting on you, support you, they're gonna let you stay with them, or they've got you a house and you've got a job to walk into because your dad's best pal's brother's uncle's fucking goldfish's parrot was a fucking construction magnate or whatever, like, which these people are very few and far in between, right? I have seen a couple of cunts gone to, like, maybe a pro board, and it's like, oh, my dad's best pal owns fucking J&L fucking scaffolding, whatever, right? And he's given me a job when I get out, no, right? I don't know if they were just talking shite or no, but you do get cunts like that have got things laid out for them when they go out, but they're the exception. We're talking about they cunts don't really go back. Talk about the cunts that are coming out. They're that riddled with anxiety about where they're going to stay, how they're going to get money to survive. What about if they're on some sort of, say, medication? Big Kev was saying he was on a methadone programme and all that, so it's like, how am I going to go to the GP? He's just going 100 mile an hour. So, like, what Edna better doing is basically signposting people who are just coming out to go and, so say the day a gate pickup, because they can do gate pickups, right? So say you're getting out of shots tomorrow or Radibel, let's say Big Kev or whoever will go meet you, right? Take you to the fucking the job centre to sort out your benefits, and then take you to your GP to get registered, to get your meth or your fucking whatever you're on, and then taking you to the housing. Not necessarily in that order, but doing all that in the first day or two, so that there's a sort of safety net there where you're a bit stress free. At least you've got a roof over your head, you're stabilised on your medication, and you've got your benefits, or you've got something where you don't need to fucking think about going out to start punting or fucking robbing and pillaging, whatever. So that to me, that is so important, because I don't know how many cunts I've heard just coming out on a Friday and getting back on a Monday, because they were like, when they came out, it was like fucking a roller coaster from, like, listen, see, when I was coming out, my brain was going 100 mile an hour. I can just hide it well, right? And I suppose that I'm lucky that because of, excuse me, sorry for yawning, man, fucking hell. Because of my previous, right, I would be, if I never had an address when I got out, I would walk into a fully furnished flat, because my social worker would be like, no hostel will touch you, because obviously I had a charge for abducting two social workers, I think it was. I think they were just like, no cunt's got to touch you because of that, because it's classed as like a hostage taking. But and he would take me to the job centre. So that was kind of like the criminal justice service doing that, but they don't do that. He just done that with me because I was convicted at the age of 15, so it's like, you were a convicted child, we have to do this for you, we have to help you, we're obliged to help you, whatever. But when you get out when you're an adult, jank social work do this shit with you or for you, do they fuck, man? They're just there to fucking tick the boxes and go out fucking shit with you and all that. Like, some are maybe worse than others, but the point is, there seems to be this fucking, I don't want to say a disconnect or what, but obviously it's down to you, right? You need to be serious about changing and want to stay out of jail and want to stay off drugs and want to fucking get your life together. You have to be serious about it, and it's hard, like, as I've explained before. For me personally, it's no, like, right, I'll give you an example, right? I used to think, like, before I'd finished my sentence, not like rehabilitation, I'll wake up one day and I'll never have these thoughts again and I'll never want to punch any cunt again, blah blah blah. It doesn't work like that. What happened is, you start to reflect, figure yourself out, what sets you off, and but when something does set you off and you know it's setting you off, you either remove yourself or think of the bigger picture. Now, one of the things obviously that helped was, obviously my education did help, right? But the last time when I got out halfway through, I was still kind of, I didn't know if I wanted to turn left or right, and by that what I mean is, I didn't know if I still wanted to be the way I was or go straight, right? And living where I lived didn't help, because I was still going out and drinking with kind of pals that were still fucking doing what they were doing and all that, so it's not really a good mix, do you know what I mean? And it's what they say, like, you'll either be inspired to change or no by people whose opinion and evaluation of you that you value. So, you get what I mean by that, do you know what I mean? But I do not understand why the criminal justice system is constantly shouting about reform, rehabilitation, we got this, we got that, and nothing ever fucking happens, right? And it was interesting because there was one thing that Sean Toll said on his podcast about how Scotland's a small enough country to divide prisons according to where you're at, and mentality wise, criminal outlook, sentence. Do you get what I'm saying? And I'm gonna look for it, because I wrote about this in my thesis, right? And it was actually a book that he mentioned. It's called Discipline and Punish: The Birth of the Prison, and it's something along the lines of, he wrote like these 7 points, 10 points or something, and it was like, divide prisoners by degree of, right, where is it? Oh, this is it, right? Right, so hold on. Right, hold on, right? Bear with me. Right, so I wrote this in 2017, so this was like I had to write a 10,000 word thesis at the end of my degree, and it was basically, no what I can, it's just basically, the title's basically, does prison rehabilitate or dehabilitate? Dehabilitate meaning, does the opposite of rehabilitate, makes you worse, right? So hold on. According to Foucault, prison is the source and solution to its own problems. He outlined 7 penitential maxims that he claimed would be deeply beneficial to the daily functioning of the penal apparatus. These included the importance of post-release employment and education, but also that prison work should not be an extension of the punishment, but a step towards the prisoner's re-socialisation. Now, think about that for a minute, right? Prison work shouldn't be an extension of the punishment. In other words, prison work shouldn't just be one mere punishment within the prison setting. Prison's the punishment. No fucking going down to a slave shop and fucking busting up fucking all DVD players or whatever the fuck it was they had cunts doing in Kilmarnock, man. Digiboxes it was, aye. But here, see, to be honest with you, man, that was the best. I thought that was the best shed in there. I just could, when one time I had to go to a shed when I get sacked after the pass, and just sit there and just talk to all the cunts, and oh, it was funny as fuck, man. I liked it, man. It was full of characters, mate. But anyway, so I'm gonna read out these things, right? So number one, penal detention must have as its essential function the transformation of the individual's behaviour. Pretty fucking. That's basically what prison should be about. But this was the one that I think can apply to what Sean was saying, right? It says convicts must be isolated or at least distributed according to the penal gravity of their act, but above all, according to age, mental attitude, the technique of correction to be used, and the stages of their transformation. So think about that, right? Because that, to me, that is, I'm not really a big kind of fan of Foucault, to be honest with you, because I think he was pure like fucking pro-communism and all this fucking shit. I think he was like a bit batty, to be honest with you. But if you're putting people into a prison who are hardcore criminals, they don't want to change, not going to change, they're basically, say, like fucking raging psychopaths, whatever. What effect is that going to have on cunts that want to change? It's what somebody was saying as well, like one person could change the opinion of 10 people if that person was looked up to, respected, fucking feared, you know what I mean? And being in prison with a lot of guys that were feared and respected at the same time, and to be fair, they were quite fair cunts. Like cunts you'd read about in the paper, they weren't like going about fucking terrorising cunts and all that kind of shit. But what if, I don't know, right? I think there's a jail down in England that's called HMP Grendon, I think it's called, and it's like a therapeutic prison. Do a lot of therapy, a lot of time out yourself, fucking art, whatever, right? Like the special units worked, but they shut them down for cause of funding. How serious are yous about rehabilitation, about keeping cunts out of jail, about this isn't just no what mate, you can do your 3 months course and that's you. Fucking bolt, man. This is the long game. This shit is the long game. It's not like Chris Monday the violence programme for fucking 6 months and then that's you get a certificate saying you've done the violence course. Whoopie fucking do, mate. See, do you honestly think a 6 month course is gonna make a fucking dent in the mind of somebody that's been acting violent for the age of fucking 14 up to 40s, 30s, whatever? And I'm not sitting saying mollycoddle every cunt, no, because sometimes I think I just look at it through my own eyes, I just think like, if that was me, if I was fucking one of the most hardcore cunts you could ever meet, I wouldn't expect nothing off them. I would expect 23 or but no, I wouldn't ask them for nothing. But if you want to change, you're willing to show change, you're demonstrating change, why is there nothing in place to help you? Why is that? Is it just all fucking sound bites and shit? Do you know what I'm talking about? It's laughable, man. And this is what I hate, because you're always seeing these things in the papers, and I seen one, right, and it was the new rehabilitative fucking message. It was in the Scots, fuck knows, it was this paper, right, and it was like, it wasn't a tabloid, but it was like a kind of more middle class paper. We're going to stop calling them inmates and start calling them service users. Now, I find that quite cheeky. The criminal justice system, or as I prefer to call it, the criminal justice industry, because it's an industry, they're not providing me or you a service by locking you up. What service are they providing you? Do you get what I'm saying? There's no transaction there. Providing you a service to me implies there's some beneficial arrangement where, say I go to buy a laptop, right? And I'm happy with it, so I pay the cunt what I think. So say he's got an asking price and I think, aye, that's worth that laptop, then I'll pay you. That's a service. If I go to get my laptop fixed, that's a service. My laptop's fixed. Hey ho. Are you fixing me? Are you fixing any cunt in there? Are you fuck? Right? Drop this corporate plan shite, mate. You're not a business. Locking cunts up isn't a business. This is what I hate. Managerialism. They're trying to run the prison service the way they would run a fucking corporation. Our targets are up this year, boss. We're catching phones are up this quarter, boss. Like, fuck off. Like, if you're running the managerialist kind of narrative is about this, how well you're securing this institution, then what you shouting about rehabilitation for? Because see, at the end of the day, rehabilitation comes with fair here. I'm the first cunt to say that. But yous are talking pure shite, and see, at the end of the day, if the government's serious about this, right, there see places, any ex-offender charity, any charity that helps ex-offenders, to me, should get some degree of funding, some degree of government aid, fucking anything. And I'm not talking about any sex offender help, because I just refuse to fucking they're no not normal criminals. Do you know what I mean? I'm talking about just like serious, I don't want to say career criminals, right, but cunts that have been in and out of jail all their days, right, like myself. There's just it's pure, it's pants, right? And see, this is what I've said before, right? In France, you can present a case to a court of law, and if you can prove, right, that you're rehabilitated, you can be legally classified as rehabilitated, right? It's called judicial rehabilitation. They mention it in the assistance literature. But you can't just get it, and neither should you. You can't just apply for it, and neither should you. Do you know how you can apply for it? Say you've been fucking in jail 20 years and you stayed out 15 years. That's how you can out 15 year offence free. And they just know he's changed, right? That's how you can apply for it and get it, right? So in other words, if you can prove that you're morally rehabilitated, right, should the law no follow up and classify somebody as judicially rehabilitated under the law? Imagine the impact that would have. And this is what does my tits in and all when I read these papers about the Rehabilitation of Offenders Act. There's nothing on it for cunts like myself. There's nothing, it's always like, if you've done 6 months or less and you've been out 2 year offence free, you can apply to have your record. I don't want my record sealed. It should never be sealed. To me, sealing my record, because David Lammy was saying this, the Mad Labour MP a few years back, about how we should be allowed to have our record sealed. Are you fucking mad, mate? I've got victims out there. that's doing them a disservice, right? If I've been convicted for physically hurting somebody and you seal my record, what about them if they know got a say in that? Just my opinion. Obviously you'll get like cunts will be like, no, I should still whatever, right? But I'm just talking for myself, right? I'm not talking for anybody else. I'm just trying to go in and out of being objective and subjective because a lot of my experiences are subjective, not I mean. But it's just we're just going to keep going round in circles, keep going round in circles unless something changes. And I remember somebody a long time ago was basically saying that I would never change. I would be doing a lifer by the time I was in my 20s. Nearly was, right? But I never thought I would change. I thought I thought I would just get worse and worse until somebody would kill me or the law would stop me in my tracks and give me a sentence that I would never finish, right? And that has all nearly happened a couple of times. But the fucking point is, right, when they're talking about we need to tell the youth of today, but they've got cunts getting in and talking to them that maybe done a weekender, went out and wrote a book about it, and oh, this guy's changed his life and all. I don't think somebody who's no been a repeat offender that's been in jail has changed their life. We're talking about trying to make the worst people, no make them, guide them towards the path of fucking building a better life for themselves. That jail's just, it's no good for no cunt. It should only be used to keep society safe. No to fuck. It's what I heard a governor saying this. He says we should only use prison for people who were scared of, not people we're angry with. Meaning basically cunts that are just maniacs that will never change. They'll keep hurting people. They'll keep preying on whatever, right? As opposed to fucking some of the cunts that will then they end up letting fucking 500 cunts out after saying they were going to decrease the use of remand. What the day started remanding every cunt. Now they're letting out 500 people. Like, they've not got a clue what they're doing. And I find it ironic that the only lived experience no being utilised is the ex-offender voice. How mad is that? Why no but? I would like to know the answer to that, but it'd be pointless even asking them because they try and dress everything up and like, well, the thing is, like they try and maybe think they're catching you, but as long as if you read up on whatever it is you're going to be talking about to them, you should be alright, you know what I mean? But it's absolute shite. Like half of these prisons aren't even coordinated, do you know what I mean? They're just all like, how do I put it? It's like no man's land. There's just all these wee, like the Gulag Archipelago, but they're no gulags by any stretch, you know what I mean? But I used to think you'd go to one, right, and they would have a rule, you'd go to the next one, SPS jails, and they'd have another rule that you're not allowed white polo shirts, because some cunt try to fucking make a screws uniform. And I'm like, if that was a rule, that would be a rule across the whole SPS estate. That wouldn't just be a rule in here. Do you know what I mean? They've not got a fucking Scooby-Doo, man. But aye, the politics in all this is just fucking mind-boggling. Do you know what? It's enough to make you just go, no what, fucking shove up your arse. But it's what they say, like, is it, there's no, what other way could I possibly give back? They say doing the times paying your debt to society, that's a lot of shit. That's them getting their pound of flesh. They want more than that off you, trust me, mate. And I never ever thought I would give back like that, like go and volunteer and talk to fucking talk to cons and go to fucking the jail or go to colleges and all that. I never thought I'd do that. If you'd have told me this 20 years ago when I was in shots, I'd have just been like, no, 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 fuck that, fuck that. Do you know what I mean? But something definitely has to happen with all this shit, because it's just a fucking merry-go-round. And see, to be honest with you, it's no in their interests for people to stop going to prison. I think it's in their interest, because if you want, they like to they like to look at prison as a business, right? So I came up with this term, carceral capitalism. Carceral meaning prison. So if prison is a business, what's the profit of the business? It's reoffending, innit? Because without reoffending, you couldn't have prisons. Prisons couldn't stay in operation. So do you think it's in their interest for people to stop going back? Go to any prison in Scotland, right? Shout out 100 prisoners and ask how many are reoffenders and how many it's their first time in prison. And how many do you think are going to be reoffenders? I would say the vast majority of them. Well more than 50% anyway. I'd say about 70 at the least. About 7 out of 10 people you ask have been in before, right? Reoffending's probably been constant for the fucking, for prison was fucking built. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying it's going to work for every cunt. It's clearly no, because some people are too far gone. That's just me being, that's just realist outlook. Do you know what I mean? That's just real. Stop, with no point in kidding yourself on. Do you know what I mean? There's just got to be people that just are going to be like, fuck it, it's too late for me. They're just jaded with it. But there's going to be somebody you can help. There's got to be. And there will be. Do you know what I mean? And it's the question, if you want to change, you need to ask yourself is, what do you love more? What's the most important thing in your life? You know what I mean? Is it your range, your wife, your job, fucking, you know what I mean? Gotta be something. And that's what you hold on to and that's what you build on. Do you know what I mean? Been there. But there has to be fucking, something has to happen with all this, man, because it's, let's be honest, it's a fucking joke. You know what I mean? The only, if you want to, don't want to say a minority, would you call it? Marginalised group, discriminated against group is ex-cons, that it's almost alright to discriminate against them. We couldn't discriminate against migrants, couldn't discriminate against women, couldn't discriminate against fucking ex-drug users, we can discriminate against ex-offenders. Do you know what I mean? So there's this stigma in it. And that's what's turning some cunts to go back and do what they were doing. It's like, fuck this, man, I don't need to take this shit, you know what I mean? And then, before you know it, man, they're back in, they've OD'd, they've fucking got killed, whatever. Do you know what I mean? So, these cunts are trying to put a fucking, a butterfly stitch or a fucking machete fucking wound, know what I mean? It's not going to last, man, know what I mean? So get the fucking finger out. But I thought I'd just come on and do that because it was kind of swimming about in my head. I've actually come on to talk about something else and I was like, fuck that, I'm going to do that while I was thinking about it, know what I mean, before I end up forgetting and that. But I hope you liked that video with Big Kev, man. Big Kev sound as fuck, honestly. And it's good for me to watch him as well because I can kind of figure out what I'm doing and all that. And he's a good big cunt, know what I mean? I don't take to people easily, know what I mean? But yeah, I took to him right away, so that's a result. But I've not had them dealing in a while anyway, because fucking I had a couple that were like, oh, and then I would talk to them, and then they'd go like, oh, phone me next week, not, and then you'd phone them, and they'd be like, oh, I'll phone you back, not, and then I'd just be like, oh, whatever, man, not, yeah, but fuck it. But I hope you're having a good Friday night and that anyway. I'm just having a quiet one, as I say, man. I'm just watching the telly, making my pot of stew, totties and carrots, as you do. My class tomorrow, so you have a good night. Sorry for fucking bending your ears, but it had to be said, you know what I mean? But you all take care. Good night.